happens when your boat is on autopilot, but it's not calibrated right and you don't notice for hours?
Fish on!
A real story about a group of guys who head out fishing offshore. And they're not rookies. They've done this before. So they're fishermen. They fish all the time. And they're heading towards an oil rig where they have fished many, many times, which is a great place to fish, by the way. Cam from Backbone used to work on an oil rig. And
that sounds miserable.
The fishing, it's hard work. But the fishing there is amazing. And so they're fishing off of this. They're trying to get to this destination where they're fishing. And they have autopilot on their boat. And so they pinpoint where they want to go, and it kind of just takes them to it, right? And so they're just cruising along. And the day goes on, and it gets later, and it gets darker. And at some point, right around the time where they're supposed to get where they're supposed to be, they realize something is off. So they're getting close to the oil rig where it should be. They notice that it's not there. The oil rig's not there. They start looking for it, and it's nowhere to be seen. And you can't just miss those. Like, they're pretty substantial. If you're going in the general area, you wouldn't just miss that. And so they start checking everything. They check the engine. It's working. Everything's fine. The GPS works. All the things are working. And then they look down at the autopilot, and it wasn't broken. It was just calibrated wrong. Oh. And because it was slightly miscalibrated, meaning it was barely off, like just a hair off. Over hours of boating, though, that error put them miles away from the rig that they were supposed to be fishing on. And so nothing was wrong enough to panic. It just shows that, at that point, they're like wondering, do we have enough fuel to get back, let alone to this fishing spot? And so they're in this situation. They shut everything off. They shut the autopilot off. They recalibrate. They manually steer. It's this whole mess just to get back home. They never get to do their thing, and they make it back. And then let the relief sit in. But the point is that they were just a little bit off for hours, and it made a giant impact in the end. They were almost where they needed to be, but almost is just almost, and almost over the course of time put you in the wrong destination. And so it makes me think about these stories that we're talking about, growing up, young marrieds, and
2 weeks ago, but it's fine.
Yeah, or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. The point is like over time, we've learned each other enough to know if I trip and fall in the box and you make a face, that's not nice to me. Like that's
not nice.
Not
nice. I don't like it.
Like I've learned how to interact in those situations. Had I just been concrete in my ways from 11 years ago, had I just stuck with bad habits for many years, we would be in a bad spot right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
And so little things matter. And with this fishing thing, they didn't get to fish. So that's a big deal.
Oh.
It's frustrating.
Week is ruined. The whole week.
The whole trip. Ruined. But how many problems in life do you guys think actually start like that? Just being a little bit off over time. I think a lot of that is the root of our issues. Not marriage issues or just general life things that happen.
Relational overall.
Let us know.
For more of this, watch the Casting Faith podcast on YouTube.